Hi everyone, this is Emily Leiphart here for Tailored Expressions, and in today's video I'm sharing a set of gift tags featuring the Snow Squad die and clear stamp combo. This die and clear stamp combo is part of the Christmas Giving release, and they're so adorable and fun to put together. I'm creating my tags with the newly released Snow Squad, which is the cutest assemble your own snowman, penguin, and polar bear. Most of their parts are in the die set, but there's a small clear stamp that includes the faces, cheeks, buttons, and stripes for the scarf. I'll also be using several existing products, including the Pretty Package Holiday Tags stamp set and the Tag Team Christmas stamp set. One stamp set provides sentiments that are more compact, and the second set has strip sentiments. For the tags themselves, I'll be using both the Tag Stacklets 2 and Pierce Tag Stacklets 2. I'll also be using the tag reinforcements, and I love that there are 3 varieties in 2 sizes. These Tag Team dies cut 3 at a time, and they're perfect for the Tag Team Christmas stamp set. In addition, I'll be using the Build-A-Scene Rolling Hills dies at the bottom of all my tags to anchor and provide a background for the animals on the tags. Finally, I'll be using the Stencil Strips Holiday to add some details at the top of each tag. In addition to the basics, Sugar Cube and Oreo, these are the main colors of this video. I'll be using Cookie Monster, Plum Punch, Eggplant, and Taffy, plus white, black, and gold glitter cardstock. Here you'll see that I've cut out all 6 tags with the colors as the base and pierced Taffy panels on top. I have 3 of the largest sizes and 3 of the second largest size from each tag set. You can also see that there's considerably more room on the largest tags, so I'll design my tags accordingly. On the left, you'll see that I've pre-cut all of the animal pieces in Sugar Cube and Oreo cardstock. You'll see the accessories in Cookie Monster, Plum Punch, and Eggplant, as well as gold and black glitter cardstock. I also die cut the ears and snout for the polar bear from Saltwater Taffy. I've die cut the rolling hills from white glitter cardstock, so each tag has at least one easy element of sparkle. On the smaller tags, these hills will be placed behind the animals, and on the larger tags, the animals will be tucked behind the top edge of the hills. I start rebuilding the smaller tags first by placing each animal on their respective tags. Then I introduce new colors for their accessories. When I mass produce or create rows of colors, I tend to shift the color one spot from the previous row or, in this case, the base color. For example, since the snowman's base is Plum Punch, the polar bear's scarf will be Plum Punch, and so on. Everything is shifted one over to the right. Since the snowman's tag base is Plum Punch and he has a Cookie Monster scarf, that means the only one of the 3 colors missing is Eggplant, and so his nose will be Eggplant. The rest of the polar bear's face will be stamped, and of course the little penguin will have a Plum Punch beak. I use a small acrylic block to stamp the nose and mouth on the polar bear's die-cut snouts. Then I place the stamped die-cut back in its spot to gauge where I should stamp the eyes on the head. After removing the die-cut piece, I stamp the full face on both polar bear die cuts. You'll have to excuse my head because I do tend to lean far forward so I can look directly over the top of the stamp. I think the snowman looks rather odd and maybe a little creepy without his nose, and I make sure to position his hat and scarf before stamping so I know where his face needs to be. You'll notice that the face details diminish in size as I go from the polar bear to the snowman and then the penguin, at which point the only part I'm stamping are the eyes. Now the animals' personalities are really starting to take shape. I used cupcake ink to stamp the little cheeks on all the animals. This is a single stamp, so I have to stamp them individually. They aren't perfectly lined up, but I think the unevenness adds a quirkiness to their personalities. After I use watermark ink to stamp the lines on the scars, I heat emboss them with gold tinsel embossing powder to match the gold glitter cardstock. Before assembling all the parts, I'm going to use the Stencil Strips Holiday and Sugar Cube pigment ink with a white blender brush. The tag for the penguin will have the joy words, and I add more ink towards the top of the tag, fading it as it falls toward the center of the tag. For the polar bear, I use the snowflake stencil and create 2 layers of it for more impact. For the snowman, I use the dot stencil, again with the same fading technique as I ink blend. Off camera, I do the same ink blending on the large tags and set those aside to dry. I attach the white glitter snow hills with a tape runner, then use Barely Art liquid glue to assemble the accessories and faces on the animals. To keep the 2 pieces of the penguin's body together, I use 1/4-inch score tape and leave the release paper on the back. The only time this needs to come off is when I tuck the penguin underneath the white glitter snow hill on the larger tag. After die cutting a variety of tag reinforcements in all colors and sizes, I go about choosing the right ones for each tag. As you can tell, I kept wanting to use the gold glitter reinforcers, and I considered using them on all 3 tags for consistency, but I decided to go with the color least represented. Before gluing the reinforcers on, I decided to stamp the sentiments using Oreo ink. These particular sentiments are from the smaller Pretty Package Holiday Tag stamp set. I used liquid glue to secure the reinforcers to the tags, carefully lining them up in the center of the top edge of each tag. I place them under a couple of acrylic blocks and give them about a minute to dry while I attach the rest of the reinforcers. Then I use foam tape and pop up the animals, lining them up along the bottom edge of each tag. Now that the tags are completely assembled, I use a standard hole punch to create a hole at the center of each reinforcer and loop some black and white twine. I like to make my twine 1.5 times the length of the tag itself. I feel like that's the most pleasing length, so I do that, then double it and trim it from the spool. I thread the looped end through the back of the tag and loop the tails through. Here's a quick review of all 3 of the smaller tags. I just love their cute details like the glitter top hat on the snowman, the beautifully layered ink blending and stamped sentiment, plus the bit of dimension on the polar bear's ears and snout. I also feel like the gold embossed eggplant scarf is absolutely perfect for the penguin. To switch things up a bit with the larger tags, I tuck the animals behind the tops of the snow hills with glue dots, then pop up the top with foam tape. When I used the tape runner to attach the hills to the larger tags, I left the very top edge untaped so the animals could slide underneath. I missed capturing the polar bear going into the snow, but I made sure that his scarf came over the top of the hill since it would have gone past the top edge of the snow otherwise. For the larger tags, I decided to use the Tag Team dies to stamp sentiments from the Tag Team Christmas stamp set. I matched these tags to the reinforcers, and I used an acrylic block to stamp them since they were already die cut and it was faster to do it this way. To string the twine through 2 layers of tags, I loop one end of the twine through the sentiment tag, then put both ends together through the main tag from the front out the back. Then I bring both those tails back through the loop as I did with the first set of smaller tags. I love these adorable layered tags. My son loves this penguin, and when he read the sentiment, he picked up the tag and shook it, which I thought was hilarious. I had to tell him that it refers to the gift it would be attached to, not the tag itself that shakes. I love the bit of dimension these animals have, the way they're tucked in and flat at the bottom but popped up at the top. I love the bits of shimmer, and there's plenty of room to write a message on the back of the tag. Here are all 6 tags together. I just love this fun non-traditional color combo for the holidays. I hope you enjoyed this video and you're inspired to create with the Snow Squad die and clear stamp combo. You can find all of these products in the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.